Today we are in the Crystal City, Corning, New York. So obviously we're going to be doing everything glass, but stay tuned as we will dive deeper into the Finger Lakes region to see some of the famous wine trails. Oh, before we start our adventure, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now follow me as we start our adventure. When you come to Corning, New York, the Gaffer district is a must-do. There's over 100 different boutiques. It's very historic. There's a brick-lined street, so it's a really cool vibe to come down and check out. GlassFest is one of the biggest festivals in Corning, and we definitely had to check it out because this is the Crystal City and they celebrate everything glass. As you can see, there are many vendors, they have glass demos, and they're going to have fireworks and music later. So we're pumped to experience GlassFest and it's all in all its glory. Oh, and I'm sure you're wondering which came first, Corning the town or Corning the museum? Well, it was the town. Corning Glass Company actually moved here from Brooklyn when they were the Brooklyn Flint Glass Company, but they've obviously have made a huge impact on the town. Now, GlassFest would not be complete without live glass blowing demonstrations, but we are doing a hands-on glass blowing experience later, so stay tuned as we'll take you along for that experience. I have to say, so far we have been impressed with GlassFest, especially Poppy. Meeting all her dog friends and people, she's becoming a celebrity real fast. GlassFest is amazing. It's super family friendly, dog friendly of course, lots of vendors, great food, local artists. We even saw like some metalworking, glass blowing demos, and they actually have a free walking tour, which we may check out later. And of course, live music. Oh, and before I forget, there's free parking, so that's always a plus. So follow me as we keep exploring Corning. Corning is obviously famous for glassblowing, but behind me, you have the Rockwell Museum, which houses American art. The building itself used to be the Old City Town Hall, which was erected in 1893. So obviously the building itself is a piece of artwork. And it's a Smithsonian affiliate, so you know it's definitely something every art enthusiast has to check out. So it's a great way to experience American history through art. Andrea and I have booked a glass blowing where we're actually going to make our own ornament, which we're super excited. And it's right by the Corning Museum of Glass. So we're going to present our tickets to our instructor and make our own piece of art. We just checked in, we picked out our colors and our design for the ornament. So now we're just waiting in line to hear our names called, and then we're going to start doing the glass blowing and getting our hands-on experience.
Alrighty, so this is your glass.
Okay.
This glass is 2,100 milliliters. It is hotter than molten lava. It is also hotter than your oven can get by about 5 times.
Okay.
Take your oven, stick it in the furnace, melt it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go and I will cover this with your colors.
Okay.
Do you want more dark blue or more yellow?
I would want more dark blue.
Sit down again. One more nice big one. We'll have a nice big one. And just like that, now we have an ornament. And all those orange flecks are going to be bright yellow.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay, here you are.
Oh, wow.
You can start to see that yellow coming back a little bit right now. But before it actually comes back, I gotta put it away so it doesn't just roll.
Gotcha. So we finished the glass blowing, but it was more like a slight glass demonstration. You're just kind of pressing a pedal. You're not putting the glass in the furnace. You're not rolling it. You're not shaping the glass. It was kind of very disappointing. There's a lot more nonprofits and other glass companies that are much more hands-on. We picked up our ornament the next day. As you can see, it's beautiful. It's handmade, but not by myself, really more of a staff member. I did choose the colors, I guess, shape. You could be like a pear or more circular, but it's a beautiful ornament. I'm going to treasure it, even though I didn't personally make it.
Was it hashtag made by hand?
Not by my hand, but made by a hand. But just be warned if you decide to book it that it's much more hands-off. The worldwide famous Corning Museum of Glass started in 1951 to celebrate 100 years of the Corning Incorporated company, and has over 50,000 different artifacts, starting from glassmaking to glass blowing to contemporary art, as well as modern techniques. They have live demos, which we're all excited to see. So follow us as we see the top sites in the museum. One of the biggest highlights in the Glass Museum is a glass blowing demonstration, which we're going to see. So let's sit back and enjoy.
Or you can establish a brief one, and with a little tap, it'll be very easily. Another tap as well.
How crazy is this optics? You start upside down, and then as you get closer, right side up to mimic glasses and a lens that you could see.
Do you want to try?
Sure. Do it like this. Here we go. Enter the Twilight Zone.
It's cool.
Yeah. So in this part of the museum, it's all about Netflix's glass blowing competition, Blown Away, which I've never seen, but they have a couple pieces from season 3, so let's go check them out.
What do you think, John?
I think the bubblegum one is my favorite. If I had to pick a winner, that would be the winner in my book. So this is the big winner, John Moran, which it looks like he made kind of a really cool skull with different colors, and the eyes look like they have rainbow coloration in it.
Impressive.
It's very impressive. So we're starting in the origins of glass making, which starts in 2000 BC. So we're covering 35,000 years, 35 centuries. So it should be crazy to see what glass making was at the beginning of time. So this is how they made glass in ancient Egypt times, where the raw materials were melted and placed in this furnace. We're now starting with the actual glass blowing section, which started with the Romans in 1 AD. So we're excited to see how it all developed back in ancient times. We've jumped ahead to Venetian glass, which was during the Middle Ages, the 1400s, and I think a lot of people know that Venice was famous for their glass. I mean, this is just beautiful. Raise the glass. Of course, you gotta have awesome pints, wine glasses, and other steins to drink a nice beverage. Now we're into the modern or the 20th century glass, so let's see what they have in this exhibit. This is really cool. They have one of the gold medals from Albertville, France. Just amazing what you find in this museum. There is so much to see in this exhibit. You could practically spend the whole day here, but there's still more to see in this museum, so let's go see what else there is to see. When you think of Tiffany's, this lamp is probably very classic Tiffany's because you think of stained glass and lamps, and it's just beautiful with the dragonfly. I mean, Tiffany's was probably, if not #1 glass designer, was right up there back in the 1800s and early 1900s. After 1960, glass drastically changed because it left the factoring. You had a glass studio movement where you had private artists having their own private studios, experimenting with glass. It became part of artwork such as this example right here, and you started getting more contemporary type of glass work. While the history of glass blowing and seeing the glass demos are really interesting, you definitely got to see the contemporary art behind it. So let's see what they have in the gallery. Hot rod derby car, and it's made from an artist in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So it's great to see something from the home state.
And reminiscent of people in Pennsylvania.
Well, we'll leave that up to the viewers. You can put a comment below if you think it's reminiscent of the people in Pennsylvania. So the contemporary is really cool to see. I think the knives, it's raining knives, as well as like the long boats. In the one part of the exhibit. Oh, and the crows were just amazing. I mean, the amount of symbolism and hard work that goes into it, as well as the thought and creativity, something I couldn't even master.
Really, I think exceptional, and you guys probably know in today's times, to have 5 blocks of really independently owned businesses. Almost more than 90% of that. Many, many, many are women-owned and career-owned, and I'm really proud of them. So, welcome to our town, welcome to our city. We're starting here, and this is called our centennial sculpture. So if you all stand and look at it, and when I talk about public art, why public art? Well, the community got to vote, so it wasn't like the Glass Museum didn't get to choose, the recording headquarters didn't get to choose, the community got the buy-in. Up close, this is our living sculpture. She's called the Tree of 40 Fruits. And grafting artist Sam Van Aken has grafted over 40 kinds of stone fruit. You can touch her and look around. She's got cherries and plums happening and peaches. So the Tree of 40 Fruit, what does this have to do with American life and through the eyes of an artist? What do you guys take from it? No wrong answers. Variety.
And beauty.
And beauty,
yes.
And inclusivity and diversity and all together and working together, and the fact that all these different fruits can survive this weather. I'm just speaking about my own. This is another of his beautiful East Lake style architecture buildings, 1887. And if you really got to just go from the top down and see all the terracotta,
Our tour was amazing. It lasted maybe like an hour. Unfortunately, we had to cut it a little bit short. But our tour guide is probably the biggest art enthusiast and biggest fan of Corning culture ever. She pointed at things that you probably wouldn't even notice unless you looked up and saw like the handmade terracotta, the bricks, and of course the glass. Now, she also mentioned that the Rockwell Museum, they have a buffalo there that was named Artemis after a 2nd grader for Art is a Must. So art, not just glass, all art, is a huge part of the culture here. She also pointed out the tree of 40 different fruits, which have obviously different fruits on it, and it's open to interpretation, but it's a really cool art piece. She did point out the Centennial Gate, which has different art, picturesque type of figures, and it was voted by the community as well. So Corning is very huge on the art scene here. But we're going to end our experience at Corning with a big bang. seeing a Pink Floyd cover band, and fireworks. Our time in Corning was amazing. Our favorite thing, hands down, was GlassFest. Even though it's a seasonal event, it's still totally worth it. And we were just blown away by all the artwork, like the street art, paintings, sculpture, murals, not just glass. It was just overall amazing. The Corning Glass Museum, there's just so many artifacts. You can spend so much time there. We were a little bit disappointed by the glass blowing experience, but there's a lot of options in town if you want something more hands-on. But that wraps up our time here in Corning. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we have many more adventures planned. But until next time, keep on exploring.